All right, let's now cut across to Marco Rubio, who is addressing the press there. President.
And there seems to be a lot of acceptance of all that, and our allies and partners here, at least to me, seem to be appreciative of updates on our operation and an understanding of what lies ahead over the next few weeks. Okay?
Those couple of weeks, how seriously is the United States considering deploying ground troops? And in those couple of weeks, what exactly will you be doing?
I won't discuss military tactics. I don't think anyone in our system is going to talk to you about what we have planned or what we intend to do, and there's obvious reasons for it. But to the extent it has to do with like military tactics and plans, I would refer you to the Department of War, and the Department of War is probably going to tell you they can't tell you anything. So other than to say that we have objectives, I've told you what those objectives are, and we are very confident that we are on the verge of achieving them very, very soon.
Did any of the G7 were upset or off-put at all by the president's comments?
They never act that way in front of me. Maybe they say that to you guys, and maybe they say that in other interviews or when they go on the press, but not in front of me they don't. I never get that. On the contrary, these meetings are oftentimes about thanking America for the role we've played in trying to bring peace in Sudan. The recognition that the president played a key role in ending what was happening in Gaza. Recognition of the role we've played in stabilizing Syria. Recognition, despite what they may have said in the press, that what we did in Venezuela was good for the world and good for our region in the Western Hemisphere. A recognition of the role we've played in setting up, along with others like Canada, the gang suppression force in Haiti. So, and appreciation for the mediating role we've tried to play in this war between Russia and Ukraine. So I don't know. I mean, you guys ask me these questions like if I go into these meetings and these people are angry, nobody there screams or raises their voice or says anything negative. And if they did, I would remind them, but I don't need to, but I would remind them of the role America's played over the last year. Has been a very productive role and very helpful to them. And I would just say this, and I said this yesterday, I'll say it again now. Iran is governed, not the Iranian people. The Iranian people are phenomenal people. They deserve way better than what they have, which is a radical Shia clerical regime that has basically taken that country's wealth and used it not to build roads and bridges, not to build healthcare systems or universities, not to build a better, more prosperous country. They've used the wealth of that country to sponsor terrorism, build rockets, build drones, build missiles, build sea mines. That's what they've done with it, and try to kill people all over the world. And this has to be dealt with. That country was a threat for 47 years. Okay? That regime has been trying to kill and has been killing Americans all over the world for 47 years. We have a president that was not going to allow that to continue unfettered. So when we are done, Iran was already weak. When we are done with them here in the next couple of weeks, they will be weaker than they've been in recent history, and they will not be able to hide behind those weapons to break out and get a nuclear weapon, which would be crazy. For these people to ever get nuclear weapons would be crazy. Look what they're willing to do with the weapons they have now. They hit embassies, they target hotels, they try to kill civilians, they splash out at all their neighbors. Imagine if these radical lunatics had a nuclear weapon to threaten the world with.
Secretary of Russia-Ukraine, you tweeted out that you conveyed the president's commitment to a ceasefire and negotiated settlement. Is ceasefire back on the table now?
In where?
In Russia,
Russia-Ukraine. Yeah, we always want to see the end of that war. I don't know why that's been a question. You know, the last meetings we've had on it were last Saturday in Miami, where Steve and Jared met with the Ukrainian side. There are no meetings scheduled as of now. Obviously, you know, that war that goes on and it continues, and it's a very unfortunate war. The loss of life there is tremendous. The Russian side in particular is losing, I think they're losing now more soldiers than they're recruiting. But it's you know, we're ready. We're ready to play whatever constructive role we can to bring that war to an end. But obviously there are a lot of other things going on in the world as well.
Mr. Secretary, on Russia-Ukraine, there were reports that the U.S. was going to divert some weapons for Ukraine in the Pearl system to help make up for the munitions expended in the Middle East. Is that accurate, and is that a message you communicate?
Well, it hasn't happened yet. Nothing yet has been diverted, but it could. I mean, frankly, it's not diverted. These are not diverted weapons. These are our weapons. These are sales. These are military sales through Pearl, paid for by NATO. And so the question at some point is, if we have a need, let me be clear, if the United States has a military need, whether it is to replenish our stocks or to fulfill some mission in the national interest of the United States, we're always going to come first when it comes to our weapons. I think that's true of every country in the world, unless they're a country that doesn't want to survive. So I don't have anything to announce. It's not like I can tell you that that's happening right now, but it could happen, and it could have always happened. If we need something for America, and it's American, we're going to keep it for America first. But as of now, that has not happened. So far, Pearl's been unaffected by this operation.
Have you seen an increase in
in Russia's support for Iran in this war? And why was now an appropriate time for sanctioned Russian lawmakers to come to the U.S.? Why?
Well, that was scheduled previously. Not all of them were able to come, only 4 I think we authorized to come. We still think, let's separate 2 issues here. Russia is still a powerful country with nuclear weapons, and it is important for nuclear powers to have some engagement at the governmental level, just like we do at the diplomatic level. I don't think that was a major concession in any way, shape, or form. What was the first part of your question?
Has there been an increase in Russia's support to Iran?
Look, I'm not going to, let me put it to you this way. There is nothing Russia is doing for Iran that is in any way impeding or affecting our operation or the effectiveness of it. That's the best way that I can put it.
So did the U.S. tell Zelensky that security guarantees depend on withdrawal from Donbass?
That's a lie. And I saw him say that, and it's unfortunate he would say that because he knows that's not true, and that's not what he was told. What he was told is the obvious. Security guarantees are not going to kick in until there's an end to a war, because otherwise you're getting yourself involved in the war. Okay? What is a security guarantee? It is troops that are willing to step in and secure. If you put that in place now, that means you're injecting yourself in the war. What he was told very clearly, and he should have understood it, is that the security guarantees come only after there is an end to the war. But that was not attached to unless he gives up territory. I don't know why he says these things. They're just not true.
What is the U.S. position on Donbass?
We told the Ukrainian side what the Russians are insisting on. We're not advocating for it. We've explained it to them. It's their choice to make. It's not for us to make for them. We've never told them they have to take it or leave it. The role we have played is to try to figure out what both sides want and see if we can bridge the middle ground. The decision ultimately is up to Ukraine. If they don't want to make certain decisions or certain concessions, then the war keeps going. Same with the Russian side. If they don't want to make certain concessions to the Ukrainian side, then the war keeps going. We're going to continue to try to facilitate what is possible. If it's not possible, then the war will continue, sadly.
Secretary, with the troops being sent to the Middle
What do
East...
you have set up? Are you a court reporter?
Oh, okay. Go ahead. The troops being sent...
How come the rest of you don't have that? Go ahead.
The troops being sent to the Middle East, sir, what role could they serve other than preparing the way for a potential ground invasion? And while you speak about several weeks, are you concerned that this could embroil the U.S. in the kind of prolonged conflict, that President Trump came to office promising to avoid?
This is not going to be a prolonged conflict. The objectives I've outlined to you, again, I repeat them, because I see these reports as like the U.S. is not clear on what objectives are. We've been as clear as you can possibly be from the very first night of what the objectives of this mission are. We're going to destroy their factories that make missiles and rockets and drones. We're going to destroy their Navy. We're going to destroy their Air Force. And we are going to significantly destroy their missile launchers so they can never hide behind these things to get a nuclear weapon. We are achieving all those objectives. We are ahead of schedule on most of them. And we can achieve them without any ground troops, without any. Now, in terms of why there's deployments.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.